The next story involves Pokemon Go, another project to have used consultancy services, not from Sweet Baby Inc., not from Black Girl Gamers, but from another little company called. Why is this not working? Oh, there we go. Another little company called GamerX. That's
GA.
GEA
Yeah.
X. So yeah, they were able to put a Y into gamer to let you know where they stand. And the headline here reads Sweet Baby Inc. style consultancy firm GamerX consulted with Niantic before radical gender and avatar changes were made in Pokemon Go. Now, of course, I'm not too much of a Pokemon user myself, but the gist of this is this too has been diversified. The story reads consultancy firm GamerX, which operates similar to Sweet Baby Inc., consulted with Pokemon Go developer Niantic ahead of the company's radical gender and avatar changes to the game. As reported by former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, that would be our good friend Grumps. GamerX notes on their website they have consulted with Niantic, Volition, and Behavior Interactive. And like Sweet Baby Inc., the company claims it is proud to offer consulting and training services to the games industry. As part of our mission to support and celebrate LGBTQIAP plus people and culture in games, we offer a selection of LGBTQIAP plus centered training curricula, as well as customized solutions designed to advance diversity, equity, visibility, and inclusion in gaming.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's a Catholic catechism now, isn't it? It's just
Yeah, I was about to say because Paul, you of course you were out in the barricades back in the day when there was still something to fight for, fighting for gay rights.
Mhm.
Would you say that that battle has been won now?
It's been subverted for maybe 15 years, at least in the GTA region. I know it's different all over the world and in North America, but it was a halcyon era uh, gay employees, gay clients, and people just being people. The goal was to just be accepted in society for who you are, but somehow that was not good enough.
Yeah,
And now we have this, and
well, you better not be too masculine or too feminine if you try to use Pokemon Go. Go, I mean, because
I like that.
that's
That's a good Freudian slip.
that was actually that's completely unintentional. But, Kern previously reported that Niantic's new avatar update for Pokemon Go completely removes sexed bodies. He wrote on X, the Pokemon Go app removed gender from all Pokemon Go players. I swear it looked like an eye from where I was standing. Players yesterday in a sweeping change that left fans at Pokemon Go Hub net furious. I took a look at the character creator myself, says Grumps. Gender is gone, replaced by a hodgepodge of androgynous options. Nothing can be too feminine or too male. Facial hair options gone, he asserted. Male faces had softened features. Female faces had masculine jaws or thin lips. Bodies are blobs. Everything is designed to blend together in some Frankenstein like gender free utopia, or dystopia as normal people call it. The end result leaving no one satisfied. And so, yeah, this is then what GamerX has done, made the game completely Sexless and joyless, and good luck seeing yourself in the avatar, unless you
Yeah, this
are
this all comes
part of the
straight out
modern
of queer
audience.
theory. This is the problem, and I worked with 1,000 gay men over the years in makeup and costuming and things like that. This is not driven by the traditional uh, gay male homosexual side of things because they love women. This is, I hate to say it, angry lesbians and maybe trans individuals that somehow want to
There's
trans.
another kind of lesbian.
No, of course they're no. I've worked with many talented
It was a
lesbians.
joke, Paul.
Uh,
It was a joke.
not at all. It's a very diverse community. But yeah, I
I
appreciate the
know.
joke. So the thing is, we're talking about this again, the social justice warrior version of people. And they just are angry bunch of people, and they don't they want everything to be same. They want women to be men, and they want men to be women, and it's not the contingent of gay people that I worked with for a couple of decades. It's not the same group, which is what I don't understand, and I'm sure they're at pains to explain this group of angry, uh, you know, the contingent from their own LGBT group that have foisted this, because I know for a fact, because I still talk to some of them, that they don't like any of this. They want
But
women to look like women. They like that. I mean,
But do they really see this as coming from their own group? Because when you have LGBTQIAP plus, that's a whole hodgepodge of very different people with some very different ideas and some very different ideologies. Like
well,
the
yeah.
LGB side of the equation, which I personally feel could be shortened to just G, generally just wants to be left alone
Well,
from your
yes,
prejudice.
and
But then you get to the T and the A,
EQ on, yes.
especially the A, who are virtue signaling people, and they don't want anyone to be left alone. They want in your face, and you have to change your ways and your lifestyle and play along with what they want. These are radically different perceptions. So your friends who have been fighting for just their own rights to do what they want and to be left alone, should they really feel that these people come from their community, or someone that has forced their way and maybe hijacked their movement a little bit?
I would love to hear from the gay contingent out there. I have gay family members. I can talk with them, but I'm going to hazard a guess that as bad as it was, let's say in the 70s and 80s, where a lot of my friends were afraid to come out to their parents or to the public, um, I I think they're living more in fear of this group than previously. I think that this is why you don't hear a really large, gay contingent sort of fighting the political side of things, because I think they're really afraid to be outed by what is ostensibly their own group as being traitors. I think they're more afraid of that.
Yeah, that could very well be. Any Any final thoughts on how well this is going to work out for Pokemon Go to be so inclusive?
I didn't know monsters had genders like that. I mean, did it really matter?
The the change in the characters is not as based on just the few that I've seen, are not so obvious compared to the square jawing of Lara Croft and this Star Wars
Right.
woman. So I don't know whether it's going to be as big a deal. I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame that Nintendo has buckled under. That to me is really sad.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess in the main characters there could be some changing, like you said. I mean, not even being sarcastic here. I mean, does it really matter when it comes to monsters? I mean,
I don't know if they put
like,
they put testicles on Pokemon. I think all hell will break loose.
well, you got to DLC those, and it costs extra.
That's right.
Uh,
Well, they could
but
have a real trans character because trans change over time, right? I mean, that's what
True.
Pokemon is. It evolves. So you have the,
I mean,
you have the basic trans, then you add chest blocks and drugs, and then they change into monsters.
right?
I just got
No,
big trouble.
I mean, in reality, though, like, yeah, I can only see this affecting the human characters. So,
Yes,
like,
that's
yeah.
correct. It's,
So,
Charmander
shouldn't
is not
be.
going to suddenly get puberty blockers.
yeah, no, probably not.
And then
Pikachu is not going to become Pikachu or something like that. Yeah.
and I was looking for. I think there was one super chat for you.
I didn't see any specific, but yeah, if you see
There
one that I
was
missed,
one, and
Andre.
I think I may have
Deleted it?
removed it by mistake, but I'll
Oh.
find it again here. I think. Well, because I know that you have to be leaving here.
I have to go now.
There
Yeah.
was someone congratulating both you and me with.
We have
with
this.
that.
Paul, are we already have sexed Pokemon, Digimon, etc.? It's called fan artwork. It says STR Red Wolf. Well, yeah, and this community has already existed. I don't know why they're trying to pander to it, though. STR Red Wolf. No offense.
My daughter's a Pokemon fan. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know much about Pokemons.
That's a pretty big deal, though, for quite many people.
Well, this was my point where I think we're still a long way away from eradicating DEI from stuff.
Yeah, that battle is very far from on. Here, I found it. It was Morgan King, who's been a member for 30 months, saying, "Happy birthday, Andre and Paul. Keep up the great work."
Let's see if I can get the balloons. There we go. Oh,
That's right. Your guys' birthdays are pretty close together.
Yeah, 2 days. There we go.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, Paul. And do I get a TV guide video anytime soon, please and thank you?
Yeah, it's now been written. Oh my God, these TV guides are getting bigger and bigger. Although I think they're going to get smaller and smaller.
You know what?
Yeah,
that's a video on its own right there. Just seeing the increased output of in TV productions using the TV guide as the historic document. See the rows where did it peak and shrink off again.
It's funny you mentioned that, Andre, because I'm assuming that the part of the reason for the need for streaming to survive was you had this glut, this balloon of need for content on television with the advent of cable, at least going, mainstream, where you had not just 20 to 25 channels. Now you had hundreds of channels, right? So you needed a bunch of content to fill those channels. And it's kind of the same thing with a streaming service now. But what's happening to cable? It's dying off. Less than 50% of the country has cable now. And now we're looking at a situation where we're going to hit a crisis of where they can't pay enough for the programs that they have to fill. So they're just going to keep showing old stuff. So it's going to become like terrestrial television all over again.
I can't remember who did Murders in the Building, but
Hulu, I think it was, or
Hulu.
FX.
Why isn't that on NBC? Like, this is the stupidest thing in the world. Let's cut down the amount of good product we have on our terrestrial outlet, so we reduce the number of people who are watching it, put it onto this cable, this pay service that nobody is paying for, and spread ourselves so thin that we just lose everything. I mean, it's going to go down in some business book as the dumbest strategy in.
I agree. And I think Andre nailed it with comparing Netflix and trying to have the studios all do their own streaming service to the world's dumbest format war. Because he's right. What you had is, it would have been the equivalent of during the VHS beta war or the DVD, every war we've had, basically it'd be like instead of just having two formats, every studio goes, we're going to do our own format. So you literally are dealing with 5 formats in the freaking
Yeah.
at the same time. It's like, yeah,
We
was
would
so
have been
stupid.
way farther ahead if people let Netflix be Netflix and Hulu becomes the rerun.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all it is.
I agree.
And we
Let
would have been so far ahead.
let Amazon and Netflix fight it out like HBO and Showtime used to for, you know, whatever one was going to get the movie packages for whatever thing.
Yeah. Now we got MGM owned by Amazon, Fox owned by
Disney, and we
What
could have
happened with
Paramount owned by Sony before we know it. Yeah.
This is terrible. This is really horrific. So,
Yeah. And we got a member chat on this topic. London 19657 says, although an old fart, I began playing Pokemon Go for exercise and I've spent some cash in 6 years. Folks are pissed. They looked cool yesterday and fugly today.
There you go. So there's someone who might stop playing it.
There you go.
Yeah, indeed. And Chaos Sonic also says for $5, people are mad that Gamers X ruined their avatars in Pokemon Go and are now.
Oh, really? So
leaving.
Wow.
they changed
But I
it.
don't get it. They weren't offensive to begin with. To what end? Were they just doing this to flex? Like,
No, yeah, well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, T. Neil also points out, nice to see GamerX are as clever as their name. Yeah, they certainly did a really clever business move right here. So now it's
Well, we
really
need to expose them all.
to the gender fluid community. So just imagine how many billions of more people will now be using Pokemon Go now that they can finally identify with it.
Thank God. Thank God. I'm just so happy.
Oh, that hilarious Pokemon Go stuff. And
yeah, we were just talking about that.
It. Yeah.
That's
Let's hear your take on it.
It's just more blurring the lines between men and women. It's just funny that this happens to a game that, I mean, this came out in 2017. I really don't understand the need to change this.
You know what?
Was it 2016 or 17? I don't remember when it came out, but
how long do you think that this would have done to implement this change?
How what?
From someone deciding we need to hire someone like GamerX to do this, and then do the planning, do the coding, and then dropping it. How long do you think that this would have been in the works before they finally executed this right now or deployed this right now?
I don't know how long it takes to do that stuff, but probably I would think at least a year.
Yeah,
because it's just changes to the avatar, right? So, I mean, 6 months to a year probably for this to have been implemented.
Because it's funny how we get all of this gaming madness right now. Now, is it all being exposed now, or is some more of it happening now? Like, to me, that's another interesting question into all of this as well. Like, is someone really making a big push here into gaming, or is someone getting desperate because it's not working out the way they want? Because if they think that, wow, now people are really going to start flock to Pokemon Go, someone's in for a nasty surprise, methinks.
I think there's a lot of coincidence. Like, it's more, a lot of this kicked off with Suicide Squad 2. That's when people really started to get this heavy conversation going. Because if you think about it, right after Suicide's 2, like Suicide, what is it? Kill the Justice League.
Yes.
That's what I meant, not Suicide Squad 2. That dropped. Then everyone started to look into Sweet Baby. Then we found out about all these other games. And then we found out about all these other companies. And then everyone started to look at how those games were handled. And then all of a sudden you have stuff like Star Wars Outlaws drop. It's just been one thing after another ever since Suicide Squad dropped. And that's what's really brought a lot of this to attention. Because it wasn't, a lot of the stuff a little bit unnoticed, I think, for a while. But it was with that Sweet Baby stuff that people really started to dig. Because people were kind of talking about it with Spider-Man 2. Remember when that dropped?
Yeah.
You know, the Mary Jane chin, and then that kind of died down. And then Sweet Baby got attached to Suicide Squad because everybody was pissed off about Batman. And then Sweet Baby really got looked at, and then that kind of brought up a retroactive conversation with Spider-Man 2. And then, it was just one thing after another, and it's kind of just reached a tipping point.
It's
'Cause we had
funny that you.
Outlaws a week or so ago, and now, bam, we're talking about Pokemon
Yeah.
Go.
It's funny that you mentioned Spider-Man 2, because if you look at Mary Jane, she kind of got the same visual treatment there as any woman does in Pokemon Go right now, which is a severe masculinization of features, stronger jawbones and everything like that, just to. Yeah, she got a good testosterone injection, didn't she?
Yep. And next week, we're going to have the meltdown over Stellar Blade, because that drops next week on the 25th. So
That's going to
we're
be
going to
fun.
Yeah, I can't wait, because the journalists are going to give it bad reviews. I guarantee you, in multiple reviews, you're going to see like those blocks blurbs talking about male gaze and women's bodies and shit. And you're going to see scores knock down points because of how she looks. I guarantee you that's going to happen.
Of course. I mean, her look is really offensive to beached whales everywhere.
But what's funny is Hades 2 is being celebrated for muscle mommies and fit women, but I guess one of them is gay. So as long as she's gay, it's okay if she's, got a sexy body, because she doesn't fuck men. So, they're not so quiet about this shit, and I love that everyone's jumping all over it. If you're heterosexual, you have to be displayed as a woman as unattractive. But if you're gay, you can be super hot. It's just funny. They don't really try to hide their agenda.
Yeah, no, like we are in the age of normalization now. There's no need to hide anything. So yeah, now masks are off, to put it that way, which hopefully is just going to make it all the easier for the gamers to vote with their wallets. And so I do hope that the gamers at large are very aware of this, even the casual gamers. And that's what worries me the most. With something like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, gamers are aware of it, because that's a game for the hardcore gamers, right? They're an online bunch. So they know what's going on. They know when to drop a title. Of course, it was never good in the first place, but they know that, now there's more reasons to drop this like a bad habit, which is why you only have like a couple of thousand active players on that thing left right now. But something like Pokemon Go, that appeals more to the casual gamers, doesn't it? Who maybe aren't aware. They're just going to see that kids are just going to see that these characters
play Pokemon
ugly.
Go.
Yeah, do you think that many of them are going to stop playing in protest, or will it be even noticeable a decline in the user base? What do you think is going to happen with that? Will Nintendo see that this was maybe not the best idea?
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know how many people still play Pokemon Go, to be honest.
Not as many as when it first came out, and it was all the rage. But I would imagine, because of the casuals, it may have a fair user base. I mean, otherwise, why do this at all? They wouldn't do this if there was no user base.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many people still play it, but it's tough to say if people will stop playing it, because Pokemon has a pretty rabid fan base. I mean, they still keep coming back to these games that make minimal changes. Pokemon comes up yearly now, and it's almost kind of become a Call of Duty thing. Same fucking game with very little changes. That's one of the reasons why Pal World was so big, because it gave people what they wanted in a lot of ways.
This clip was taken from Midnight's Edge in the Morning, which streams live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 AM Pacific Time on the Midnight's Edge main channel. There you can send in your live questions and comments before clips and full stream replays are uploaded to Midnight's Edge live archives. We are also on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey and Facebook, so smash that like, help share, subscribe and join us.